The Galactic Council had been preparing for humanity's first official diplomatic contact for months. Every protocol had been reviewed, every cultural sensitivity briefing memorized, every possible scenario planned for. When Earth finally responded to their invitation to join galactic civilization, the Council expected the standard diplomatic vessel, a sleek, peaceful craft designed to demonstrate good intentions and cultural sophistication. What emerged from hyperspace above the neutral meeting station was something else entirely. Ambassador Prime Velterra felt her secondary heart skip as the human vessel materialized on the sensors. The ship was angular, brutal in its efficiency, and absolutely massive. Where other species sent diplomatic cruisers the size of city blocks, humanity had dispatched what could only be described as a mobile fortress. Defensive systems are detecting over 300 weapon emplacements, her tactical officer reported, voice strained. Energy signatures suggest antimatter torpedoes, kinetic rail cannons, and something we can't identify that's reading as a miniature star. Perhaps it's ceremonial, suggested Counselor Thexmore, his optimism sounding forced even through his translator. Many species display military might as a form of cultural expression. The human vessel's communication array activated, and a signal reached the station. Instead of the expected diplomatic frequencies, it broadcast on military channels used for fleet coordination and tactical updates. Galactic Council Station, this is UES Retribution requesting permission to dock. Be advised, we are operating under Diplomatic Protocol 7. Ambassador Velterra had never heard of Diplomatic Protocol 7. A quick query to the Galactic Database returned no results for any civilization's diplomatic procedures. UES Retribution, this is Ambassador Prime Velterra. We welcome Earth's diplomatic mission. However, our sensors indicate your vessel is heavily armed for a diplomatic encounter. There was a pause before the human response came through, and when it did, it carried what could only be described as confusion. Ambassador, the Retribution is our diplomatic vessel. She's a negotiator-class heavy cruiser, designed specifically for first contact scenarios. Is there a problem with our approach? Velterra exchanged glances with her fellow counselors. A heavy cruiser designed for diplomacy? The contradiction made no sense until the human commander continued. Ma'am, we've reviewed galactic history and noted that 73% of first contact scenarios result in hostile action within the first 6 hours. Diplomatic Protocol 7 ensures we're prepared for flexible negotiations. The docking procedure itself was a masterclass in controlled intimidation. The Retribution didn't simply dock, it maneuvered with the precision of a predator, its weapon systems tracking potential threats with casual efficiency. Even powered down, the ship radiated an aura of barely contained violence that made the station's security forces visibly nervous. When the human delegation finally boarded, they were led by Commander Patricia Hayes, a woman whose dress uniform somehow managed to look both diplomatic and military simultaneously. She was flanked by what were obviously bodyguards, but their equipment suggested they were prepared for everything from formal dinner parties to full-scale warfare. Ambassador Velterra, Commander Hayes said, extending her hand in the human greeting gesture. Thank you for this opportunity. We're excited to discuss Earth's integration into galactic civilization. Commander Hayes, Velterra replied carefully. We must ask. Hayes looked genuinely surprised by the question. Ma'am, we've studied galactic history extensively. Every major diplomatic negotiation in the past millennium has been backed by the implicit threat of force. We simply prefer to make our capabilities explicit rather than implied. She gestured toward the viewport, where the Retribution dominated the view. The ship isn't a threat, Ambassador. It's a guarantee. When humanity gives its word in a treaty, everyone involved knows exactly what ensures we'll keep it. As the negotiations proceeded over the following days, the Council discovered that human diplomacy was unlike anything they'd encountered. Every agreement was backed by demonstrable power, every promise reinforced by visible capability, Every treaty signed under the watchful presence of the most dangerous diplomatic vessel in galactic history. By the end of the talks, the Council had gained a new member and a healthy respect for the species that sent warships to diplomatic meetings and somehow made it work.